Hello students, hope you are doing well. So in today's lecture we'll just see the concept of a parameterized constructor. Okay, so this parameterized constructor is also a part of a constructor, or we can say if we classify a constructor into different types, then this is of second type. Okay, the first type that we have discussed in the yesterday's lecture, that was default constructor, and in default constructor we have discussed the implicit and explicit default constructor. So now parameterized constructor, as its name suggests, okay, any constructor that contains a parameter. So you can say any constructor, okay, any constructor that contains arguments, okay, that contains arguments or parameters, okay, that contains arguments or parameters is known as a parameterized constructor, because its name suggests parameterized. Okay, it says that it contains some parameters. Okay, so now we'll just see it with the help of C++ code so that you can understand it, okay, more. So we'll just create a class. Okay, we'll just create a class. Let us say this is a class dummy. Okay, so we will just focusing on this dummy class, and in this dummy class, okay, we are more interested, okay, in creating some, let us suppose, data members. So let us suppose we create a data member int a, okay, and b. This is for just for the purpose of concept. Okay, we are just taking only two parameters. You can take any number of parameters depending upon your program. So in the public section, okay, as we know that we define the constructor in the public part only. Okay, constructors are the special member functions and they have to be defined in the public section. So now I'll just write a constructor of same name, let us say dummy, and inside this I'll just pass arguments. Okay, so if I just pass an argument, for example int x and int y, because there are two arguments. Okay, there are two arguments we have taken. Okay, these are the instance variables. Okay, these are the instance variables we have taken. So we will just okay, we'll just pass some formal arguments in the definition of the constructor. So these are the instance variables. Okay, these are instance variables, and these are, you can say, these are the formal arguments. Okay, these are the formal parameters. Okay, this we have known, okay, as we have learned the functions. So now what we'll do, we have to assign, okay, we have to assign the value of this x to this a and the value of this y to this b. Okay, so we'll just write a is equal to x, okay, and b is equal to y. So what we are doing, we are assigning the values. So here this is the assigning, okay, assigning task is being performed here. Now we can just write, okay, if we want to show the value, okay, so we can just write here cout, okay, value of a and b. So here we can just write a, okay, and we can just write a new line, and we can just write b. So in this way, okay, we can just print the values of a and b. So now this is, okay, this is a constructor. We have created the definition part for the constructor, and we have defined, we have initialized the variables, okay, the instance variables inside this constructor. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are initializing, okay, we are initializing, okay, we are initializing the data members. Okay, the data members have been initialized here, okay, inside the constructor. That is what it is used for. Okay, so now we just, okay, we just close this class. Okay, and now we'll just create, okay, we'll just create a main function. So we'll just write main, okay, and in main what we'll write, we'll just create an object of type dummy. So if I just create dummy and a dm, Okay, and if I just close the program, then can you expect the output from this certain piece of code, or can you say that this certain piece of code is correct for this particular object? So we will, when we will compile this code, then certainly this code will result in an error. Okay, when we compile this code, then this code will result in an error because we haven't passed anything inside the object. Okay, we haven't passed anything inside this object. Okay, because as soon as we are creating the object, the definition says that you have to assign the variables also, you have to assign the values also. Why we have to assign the values? Because now we have created, we have explicitly created a parameterized constructor here. Okay, so if we have explicitly created a parameterized constructor, then the compiler will not be invoking its default constructor. Okay, so no default constructor will be invoked here now. Okay, so you have to remember that if we try to this is a note. Okay, so if we try to, okay, execute, or you can say we try to compile this code, okay, that we have written this code, then it will result, then it will result in an error. Okay, it will result in an error. Why it will result in an error? Because there is, because okay, there is no, okay, values that have been passed, that have been passed at the time of object creation. Okay, at the time of object creation. Okay, and the next point that is very important to be remembered is no implicit, okay, no implicit constructor, okay, will be called by the compiler, will be called by the compiler. Okay, this you have to remember. There is no implicit constructor. Implicit constructor means there is no default constructor now. Okay, because we have created, okay, we have defined, okay, our own constructor, our own constructor. So this is very important. This point must be remembered here. Okay, so how we can, okay, how we can resolve this code? Okay, how this code can be resolved now? So what we have to do, if we want to resolve the error, so we have to pass the values. Okay, so in this dm we will just pass two values. Okay, let us suppose 100 comma 200. Okay, and if now if we try to execute this code, now this will be a successful compilation. Okay, so now this is a success. Now this code will be compiled successfully and we will get an output that value of a and b are 100 and 200, because as soon as this object is created, okay, so we are passing the values inside this object. It means the parameterized constructor will be called. Okay, and this call will be transferred. Okay, these value will be transferred to these formal arguments. Okay, so these formal arguments will just, okay, will take the contents from these actual arguments, and these will be, okay, stored in x and y, and these x and y will just, okay, initialize these values to these members, okay, these data members, and as a result of which we can expect the output that we have expected. Okay, so in this code now, if I again create a constructor, okay, if I write, let us suppose dummy, okay, if I write dummy, and again I just pass int, for example, k, okay, and I write a is equal to k and cout, let us suppose a. Okay, then what will be the output? Okay, whether this code will be compiled or not. Okay, you have to think it now. Now there are two constructors. Okay, both the constructors are having the same name. Okay, this is also having the same name. Okay, and this is also having the same name. So this is also dummy and this is also dummy, but these two constructors. Okay, these two constructors are the special member functions. So this is the name of the member function. Okay, so dummy is the name of the function here, and also this dummy is the name of the function. Okay, and these constructors are differ in the number of parameters. Okay, so here there are two parameters, here there is only one parameter. So we have covered the concept of function overloading. Okay, in which a function can have same name and it can occur many times in our program in C++, but it must follow certain conditions that the return type of the parameters must be different. Okay, the type and the order and the number of parameters must be different. So here this condition is satisfied here. Okay, here there are two parameters. Okay, the number of parameters are 2, and here the number of parameters is only 1. Okay, so if we will try to compile this program, so there will not be any error in this program. Okay, because the compiler will do compile time binding, and on the basis of the type of the parameters that we have passed, okay, on the basis of the type of the parameters that we have passed, that is 100 200, it will map this call. Okay, this call will be mapped to the first constructor that contains two parameters, and the output will be 100 and 200. Okay, but if we just create, let us suppose if we just create another, okay, here if we just create another object, okay, and if I just write comma dm1 comma 400. Okay, so now can you expect what is the output? Okay, what will be the expected output? So now there are two calls. Okay, there are two different calls. Okay, so there for the first object this constructor will be invoked, that is it will transfer the call to the first constructor in which there are two parameters, so 100 and 200 will be printed. Okay, and for this object that is called dm1, okay, the compiler will bind this call to the second constructor because it maps this parameter 400 is mapping with this type integer, because there is also a single parameter and it will map this call to this particular function, and as a result of which the value of k will be transferred to a and will get the expected output as 400. Okay, so after compiling and after executing the code, the output will be 100 and 200 for the first constructor and 400 for the second constructor. Okay, and this concept in which I am creating n number of constructors, or I am creating more than one constructor of having the same name but differ in the data type, this is known as constructor overloading. Okay, so what I am doing here, I am doing constructor overloading. Okay, so this is also a property of a constructor, that in constructor overloading can be possible because constructor is also a special member function, and it can behave same as the function overloading type of concept. Okay, the concept will be same, okay, depending upon the type of the parameters, order of the parameters, and number of the parameters. So we can have different types of constructors in a program, but they should follow this type of rule. So you have to remember that constructor overloading, okay, constructor overloading is possible. Okay, so this is possible, and this is also a compile time process. This is also a compile time process. It means compiler will map, okay, during the compile time the parameters. Okay, so this is the program. So if I just again do something, okay, I'll just create a program. Okay, same program I just write for example dummy. Okay, this is a class, and I just write int a comma b. Okay, and inside this public, if I write dummy, okay, so this is int x and this is int y that we have written, and we are just assigning, okay, to a and b. And again I'll just create a constructor. Okay, again I'll just create a constructor dummy, and I just pass a variable k as a formal argument. I'll just assign any value. Okay, I'll just write this, okay, and if I try to, okay, let us suppose this is the class completes, okay, and I'll just write main here. Okay, so this is the part of the main. So inside main, okay, if I create an object of type dummy, so I'll just write dummy. Let us suppose this is dm and this is 10 comma 20, okay, comma dm1, this is 30. Okay, so for example, if I write, let us suppose dm2, if I write this, okay, and the program, I've just closed the main, and if I wish to compile this program, then can you guess that what will be the output now? Okay, will this program will be compiled successfully? Okay, so this compile, okay, this program will throw an error. Why it will throw an error? Because for this particular, okay, object, okay, it has successfully find the constructor for this particular object, because we have passed two parameters, and it will, okay, it will map these two parameters with the first constructor. Similarly, for this dm1, it will map dm1 with this particular constructor. But for this dm2, okay, for this dm2, there is no constructor, okay, definition we have written, because this dm2 is not having any arguments. Okay, there are no arguments that have been passed in this object. Okay, so the compiler will throw an error. Okay, there will be no implicit call. Okay, there will be no implicit constructor that will be called here, because we have created two different types of constructors here. Okay, so for this particular object, we have to write an explicit default constructor in order to get our program, okay, successfully execute. So what we will do, we'll just create, okay, we'll just create a constructor, okay, that will be of type dummy, okay, that doesn't contains any arguments, and that doesn't contains any, you can say, any messages. Okay, if you wish to write any message, then you can write a message, because it is an explicitly default constructor. So you have to create, okay, explicit, okay, an explicit default constructor. Okay, an explicit default constructor must be created, okay, so that this particular object must be mapped, this particular object must be mapped to this particular constructor in order to get our program successfully executed. Okay, so we'll just see this piece of code in the practical session. So I hope for now this concept is clear to you, okay, that what is a parameterized constructor, okay, how we will create a parameterized constructor. Inside this, we will do constructor overloading. It is also possible. If we pass any object that doesn't contains any parameters, then we have to create an explicit default constructor in order to get our program successfully executed. So thanks.